I don't usually go to movies alone. So usually when I leave the theater, I can kind of just like spill it out, like all like my thoughts and feelings. But like you guys, I went into this totally blind. I'm not kidding. I sat down and the trailers started and I was like, why are all these trailers for scary movies? So I quickly pulled out my phone and I was like, obsession theme, and it's like horror. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I watching?
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh.
That's best way to see a movie is going totally blind.
Totally blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you probably went to the movie theater here. Weirdly plays very few previews, which is kind of nice, but it's such a stark contrast from when I'm going to a big chain like AMC. You know, it's a half an hour basically of trailers and commercials, and they say that thankfully on like the ticketing page, you know, the scheduled start time in the fine.
Oh, I love that.
That is
so,
nice.
so you can plan ahead for that, but oftentimes I just show up when at the scheduled showtime and then end up sitting through, you know, half a movie's worth of trailers before the actual thing starts.
And scary movie trailers are very scary. So I was anticipating this movie to not be so like suspenseful and thriller-esque and like a slower burn. I was expecting it to be like, I don't know, Saw 4 or whatever. Once I realized it was a scary movie, and I was just so pleasantly surprised with like the level of horror and the style of horror that they brought.
It puts you on edge. You're just like waiting for something scary to happen. You're like, you know it's coming, but you're just like, oh, but I'm really immersed in like what's happening here. And then it like kind of gets you by surprise. You're just like, oh, hello.
Exactly. Well, anyway, I'm excited to talk about it. So kick us off with the intro, Philip.
Yeah, no, it's fun to have you both here on the Thodcast. Conversations about animation. Welcome, Jody. Welcome, Laura. Jody joining us from Georgia, and Laura, you're here in Minnesota. I'm in northern Minnesota. I'm Philip Elke of the Thodcast, and we're talking about Obsession today. Some modern horror films from up and coming directors, or you know, that's sort of been the topic du jour, with sort of recent successes of movies like Backrooms and Obsession that are targeting kind of a younger demographic. And I just had such a fun time with this movie, Obsession. I've seen it twice, and thought I'd try to get you guys to share some thoughts as well. So, you know, this is, we say conversations about animation. Well, it was an animating force for us to want to sit down and chat about this movie. So that's you know, the theme of today's episode really is this is just a pretty compelling piece. So thanks for joining. And Jody, it's been a little while since we had you on the show, I think. So welcome.
Yeah, I popped out another kid for the planet to take care of, which is something and terrifying. And I'm excited to be back. And this movie, you know, they used to refer to certain shows as like water cooler conversation. Like you'd go to the water cooler and everyone would want to talk about, I don't know, America's Next, whatever
Hot
people
topics.
used to watch.
Yeah.
The hot topics. I feel like this movie is one of those because before I watched it, I hadn't heard much about it, but afterwards, I swear people are talking about this everywhere. Like the New York Times is talking about it. It's modest budget, the director. People are sharing their opinions about like these new kind of actors that are coming out. But I do feel like everyone has an opinion, and like the Gen Z, younger millennial people are all about it on TikTok. And I mean, like Philip said, also Backrooms coming out at a similar time. Both of these have sort of rejuvenated movie going. And it's been a long time since I've wanted to go back and watch a movie a second time, especially because now I have 2 kids. Like it's really hard to carve out time, but I'm going to this one a second time because to me, it was that good. And that's so surprising when the plot line is, I made a wish that went wrong. Like that plot line is very common. Into the Woods, Big. There's so many things. So it's surprising that they took that plot, a stereotypical one, and made it so captivating.
Yeah, I love a classic, careful what you wish for. And I love with this too, ever since I've seen it, now I feel like the internet knows that I've seen it because every video on my feed is what's really cool about it is like the people that worked on this, they're very socially active online. So like they talk about their behind the scenes. They're brand new, a lot of them brand new to the industry in like this capacity. So it's really cool seeing like up and coming Gen Z filmmakers and designers and costume designers, all this kind of stuff, and them talking through their process and then sharing a lot of behind the scenes, like on various scares and practical effects that they've done. Like, so that's just been my entire feed the past day or so. I've just been really perusing that and really enjoying it. And now that I've seen a lot of the like what went into it, I definitely want to see it again to be like, oh my gosh, like to really appreciate what I saw it the first time. Because I think you don't realize, like, I didn't go into this knowing that it was a, what was it, like $750,000 budget, like relatively shoestring, and like they made it in 20 days. Like, no idea. I just thought this was another,
Shocking. When it said 20 days, I'm telling you, like, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
And that this guy, I shouldn't say this guy. So the director is
Curry.
Barker. Was that what it was? Curry Barker. I mean, he was a YouTube guy, which I'm not someone who's lived I haven't logged a lot of YouTube hours, so I don't really know what's super popular out there. The only thing I knew that came out of there was Mr. Beast. I'm just like not a YouTube person, but the fact that they like honed their skills there. I went to school and I had a lot of friends who were in like musical theater and into, indie film type creation, whatever. And it's just inspiring to see someone who at one point was making it for fun. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He was probably just making these because he thought it was cool. He thought it was interesting. Same with Backrooms. And like bada bing, bada boom, he's probably solidified another like 50 paid projects for himself, which is exciting when you see someone who did it truly out of passion. I don't know what the story is for him being recruited to make it like as a blockbuster thing, but reading that he started out on YouTube is
great. I feel like I've seen some of his videos. It was him and the actor that played Ian. The two of them did like a kind of a comedy duo. So I'd seen, because I definitely saw him before when I was watching the movie. I'm like, that guy is so familiar. So I was looking into this and I haven't gotten a chance to watch, but on their joint YouTube channel, they actually have some like short film horror movies. They have like a couple of them. One of them is like 25 minutes long and the other is about an hour long. And I'm like, I gotta watch those. I want to see what else they've done, especially with like a more kind of limited scope. Like there's so much you can do, as is proven with this film. And it's just like, whoa, like, and then when you fund these people, they're able to do so much more. So like, yes, I'm here for it.
Oh, look, you guys, sorry not to distract,
that was
but when
cool.
I did a thumbs up.
I did see that. I was like,
ghost.
Whoa.
So are you guys, before we like dig into the movie, I just want to know, are either of you guys horror movie people? Like, is this a genre that, like, I like The Shining, but I'm not into these types of movies. So I just want to know.
With Philip on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Go, Philip.
I don't know. I just like anything that's interesting and thoughtful. I did see this opening weekend, I believe. And I didn't really know anything about it other than it looked kind of just like a cool A24 type horror movie. It's got this logo in the title that looks sort of like it's been projected analog style. It's just, well designed, well crafted in the, marketing to where like, this must be sort of a cool new hip release for the
kids.
Sort of like a, Talk to Me was one of those, Curry Barker talks about in interviews being inspired by movies like the X trilogy, X Pearl, Maxine, and then like, Hereditary. I love Hereditary.
Oh, yeah.
I actually haven't seen the Pearl trilogy. The X.
I need to get on that. That's one I feel like I'd enjoy. Yeah.
Mia Goth. So I got to go check those out now. But
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say this director's probably like too young, but it truly is giving the movie like 13 going on 30, and it's giving big. You know what I mean? Like subconsciously, like he probably had like a little inspiration from those things, but everyone who's had a social encounter or a crush could be inspired for this movie. Do you know what I mean? Oh, okay, yeah. Laura, you tell me, like, were you going into it like excited to be scared?
Oh, for sure. This has been a genre that I've recently kind of been diving into, starting with like David Lynch films. Like I've been really interested in his oeuvre, like specifically with like not just films, but also like I'm a big Twin Peaks person. And just, yeah. So like the first movie I actually saw on my own in theaters was Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. And this is the second one that I've seen on my own in theaters. So like, you know, we're branching out. And it's also, yeah, it's that same thing of like, I don't usually go to the movies alone. And it was so, yeah, I had to kind of suppress not my thoughts, but just like, I was like, I'm going to save it for the podcast. But also I want to think about this film some more before I like write a review or anything. Cause sometimes when I see a movie, like I'll just immediately open up Letterboxd and like start writing. But I'm like, wait, I need to let this cook for a second. Cause like there's a lot here. Yes. So yeah, this is a genre that I have begun to explore.
Nice. Well, insanely well crafted film, and considering it had such a small budget and is now striking a chord with a certain audience and has become a genuine word of mouth phenomenon. So it's always fun to see these kinds of things pop up, and I mean even in terms of its precedence, we've now gotten this other movie in the form of Backrooms that was a larger production, but still fairly small budget. Released to big numbers opening weekend, wasn't as much of a phenomenon in terms of like week over week gains. Phenomenon was more of a slow, or Obsession was more of a slow burn, but now. It was just sort of like a fun inverse, both very successful movies, but Obsession specifically has just generated that buzz based on, I think, the degree to which it has just been a resonant kind of thematic exploration of something that I think is pretty universal, but especially
universal,
especially Gen Z coded.
Right. And I mean, the intro, I was sucked in immediately. You get this bear who's sort of practicing what he wants to say to this girl that he really likes. And who has not done that, either with a friend or by themselves in the shower? Throughout, my life, when I liked someone, I would play out like, what am I going to say? And I was like, this is so realistic to me. This character Bear, I loved him from the beginning because the actor is the perfect amount of sort of awkward, still handsome and cute and like has a chance with this girl. I thought, well, maybe, we'll see where this goes. But that little insecurity of just like wanting the person you love to like, or I actually don't think he truly loved her. I think he wanted to be loved by her, but anyway.
I mean, that's
relatable.
For me,
so
like
relatable.
I should have been probably on medication for that type of thing when I was, this guy's age and maybe younger. Sure. But thankfully I've kind of gotten over that in my, dotage. No, I'm a millennial. I think we're all here millennials, like pre-Gen
on the cusp, but yeah.
But we all went through this phase, and like if we've experienced like any kind of pining for someone, then this takes that to the utter extreme.
And how you idealize a potential relationship, how you take someone and sort of put them on a pedestal and like think about them and maybe even dream about them, and they kind of are all consuming and they do become larger than life. And what were to happen if you could force them?
Yeah, without even thinking about their well-being, which is what really gets crazy about it. Like where it's just like, yeah, it like takes this insecurity and turns it up to like 11. Cause like there were so many points even before The Wish where like, had he, worked up a little bit more, he could have done something. And there's so many chances that he has, but it just speaks to that really deep insecurity that is so common and so valid, but also can go so wrong in cases like this. Yeah.
And the girl they picked was perfect in the sense of,
oh my God,
she was actually nice. Like I thought they were going to make her be, like the head cheerleader or like the girl that was just super unobtainable.
She was like so cool. Like,
but they made her a cool girl that potentially things could have worked out with. She's really, really pretty, but I don't feel like so pretty that girls like would hate her. I don't know how to explain it, but she
Likable
has
personality.
perfectly.
Yeah.
She was very
Believable.
likable. And the moment I saw her on the screen, I was like, oh, thank God. Because I feel like
Yeah.
you could have put in like the blonde, skinny person, which nothing wrong with that either. But, and I mean, she's gorgeous. She's stunning and so animated and so perfect for the role. But she made it even more believable, like her being the crush. Because, yeah, like you said, Laura, there's a chance that she would have chosen him had he organically approached this. But
Yeah.
all of us do that. We say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or like,
I need some help. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. The timing has to be perfect. The timing has to be right. And it just really sold me. The first 20 minutes I was soaked in. I didn't even want to leave the theater to go get a bottle of water because I truly didn't want to miss where it was going to go.
Just want to quickly shout out the dialogue here. And Jody, you mentioned this internal, like obsessive cogitation, this constant, like going over in your head what you're going to say to someone, or if you were in a conversation with, the object of your affection. And I mean, that kind of sensibility, I think, has led to the screenwriter here, and Curry Barker. I think this is pretty much entirely his, his baby in terms of like his creative passion, he probably just has this really solid grasp of just pinpoint accuracy when it comes to the dialogue, and it was just so word perfect, how like every moment, every line felt motivated, purposeful, was covering all the different bases you could hope for in trying to flesh out these dynamics and these characters. So I just kudos to that. And I think part of that ability comes from the fact that he probably does spend a lot of time in his head, and he has talked about like writing things down, obsessively, kind of just like making sure all these little details that populate the film make their way out into his, Rolodex of concepts, like the Willow, One Wish Willow, for example, was an invention from him, and that's just something that popped in his head while he was trying to come up with
Which
this.
I love, because there's something about it that feels so, this has always existed in our world. Like the way it was designed. I saw a video of the person that designed like the look of the box and the actual like piece of wood that you crack. Like it just, something about it was like, there's like a whole universe in this, like some alternate universe where this is actually a thing. Like this has like been a part of our world or something. But like, it was really cool to see it. Yeah.
But it's been done lazily so many times too.
Yeah.
But like the fact that you like you said, it is a new creation for this film, but it feels like something that's been around forever. That's just so, elemental, and it's just so well thought out. That it was just a credit to, the amount of effort that went into just crafting every moment that makes this just so memorable and so like sticky, makes you want to come back,
Yeah, like so many decisions in this in a design sense are so purposeful. Like everything is there for a reason. You might not think about it in the moment, but then when you finish the film or look at it in totality and everything, you're just kind of like, oh, like this was really thoughtfully designed, like down to the outfits. Like I'm really obsessed with the costume design on this. I think they really knocked it out of the park. Like this is how people of this age dress, but also specifically Nikki's wardrobe and how it changes.
Wardrobe,
like that really floored me. Yeah.
Scene to scene, so great. And I hadn't thought of this. I've only seen it once, but on TikTok they were saying that with the style of her outfits, whether it's a little more provocative or a little more conservative, that she's a reflection potentially. I mean, this is a theory, I don't know for sure, but that she's a reflection of how Bear is feeling about her at the time. And I thought that was so great. And I agree with you. It's how like kids dress now, and not in the like Mean Girl, the musical way.
Right.
Where
It's not cringy.
They were trying to maybe do something like that. And the outfits just like do not work at all in that
they're like
sense.
Quality outfits. I also was looking into it. Like they're not like, also they're also affordable as well. So like people have been going out and buying the outfits because they're like, I mean, what you can find, because a lot of stuff is out of stock now because of it's so popular. But like, yeah, like it's not like they're out here buying like Schiaparelli, like Chanel, like, you know, it's stuff that people would actually afford who work at like a music store. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, one of the hot things they mentioned on the New York Times podcast about it is they only budgeted $6,000 for costuming.
Wow. Yeah.
Like community theaters work on a budget like that.
Right, right.
I mean, I'm telling you, somebody did their homework when they thought these outfits through. And when he snaps that thing,
Yeah.
and the silhouette of her on the porch,
That bomber jacket. Oh,
that jacket. Yeah. I was like, okay, here we go. And her ability to kind of come in and out of it at the beginning.
So cool. Yeah.
Her acting really just blew me away, because I was like, wait, maybe she is liking him and the story's going to go in the direction of like, this is actually happening organically and he's going to super second guess it. I really was wondering at the beginning what way this was going to go. I was like, is he going to mess this up by overthinking this like quote unquote wish? But lo and behold, no, she is under a spell. And that becomes quite obvious after a day or a couple hours.
Yeah. I like how it does sort of waver how, you know, lucid, I guess she is as a human after the wish takes effect. It's not, you know, it's okay that it's a little loose with the logic there because, you know, it's a supernatural thing. I mean, there's so much you could just like a lesser film, you know, you would just chalk so many different things up to the magic, or, you know, she's got a spirit in her that's, you know, all it makes her have superpowers. And, you know, how did she smash the window of the car? You know, well, I mean, she actually had a brick, you know, but
right.
You know.
And sorry, Philip, I'm so excited.
No, don't ever apologize, because I ramble.
To like call back on these early moments is later. I'm hoping that everyone's listening has seen this movie at this point, but later in the film, when she's quote unquote sleeping, AKA the wish girl is sleeping, and she says, "I'm not here. Like you never had me. Like please kill me." And that hurts me so bad when the real her, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't even like her in love. This is truly like a demon that has possessed her body. Like he has her body, but like not her soul, not her brain, not her heart. And how devastating, and how in the beginning, when the wish first begins, how she's probably fighting that demon in a way. Do you know what I mean? She's like, wait, I'm being so crazy.
She's like, yeah, sorry.
I feel so weird. And that's probably like when it's taking over her. And I just, and I was worried that he was going to be fine with it, because men are sometimes trash.
Yeah.
But I really like, sorry, Philip, sometimes. A bear does care, but there's moments where he kind of goes back and forth and wavers too. And I think you guys probably saw that. Philip, you've seen it twice, and maybe so you saw it more so, but he feels guilt for sure. I mean, throughout.
He's not irredeemable, but he's kind of a scumbag still.
In a way,
yeah. Especially when he feels like he needs to defend what's happening. There's like
because things are going well for him on his side. He's like, oh my God, I made a wish and it came true. And like, but I can overlook these weird things because she, you know, she always apologizes. She's always like, it's never going to happen again, blah, blah, blah. But like, he doesn't really understand, I think, what has really happened here. And nobody really does, because it's like, you try to create like a real world explanation as to like, okay, maybe there's like drugs or like what's happening. Like, why is nobody in her life, like, you know, having an intervention or like really sending her to the hospital? Like, you know, but also they don't know what happened. So it's like, yeah. And
to be so for real, there are things she does that normal girls, literally, there are some of the things she does, like slamming the bathroom door and be like, go with your friends. I don't care.
Yeah.
Fine. But secretly you're so mad and you end up yelling. There were moments of her obsession that I think any girlfriend or boyfriend has felt. Like, it's so crazy. But when she says, oh, I just wish I could like wrap myself up in your skin or something like that. That is a thought that I have had, and I'm not certifiably insane. And so I think that,
yeah, she straddles the line for sure.
Exactly. Like even her crazy side, granted, I mean, like peeing on the floor and some of that stuff, it gets out of control. But some of the things, like, dang it, like I would do that. Like I could see myself pulling someone's chair out in a game and being like, "You're not going to kiss my boyfriend." Do you know what I mean? Maybe not to the way she did it, but yeah.
Yeah, it speaks to that thing that people have within them that is like, that's my partner. So it's like, you feel like this sort of like possessiveness, but like, of course, this demon thing has kind of dialed it up a notch. So it's just to the extreme. Yeah.
Yeah, we almost every one of these moments, these like gags, you could call them moments. Like this works as a horror comedy. I'm sure I would laugh way more at this, like if you count them up, versus like the new scary. I didn't see the new scary movie that came out, but I've never seen a scary movie. I'd be interested what I think of it, but maybe I'll have to go check it out. But I mean, just these moments, the fact that they're so relatable, but they're just that little bit extra intense.
Did your theater laugh at anything? I'm curious to know. Like,
yeah, I would say there were a few laughs, especially with Nikki's dialogue and Nikki's moments. A good example of that would have been when they're at that boys' night and she does this poem and she goes, "You guys, I was joking." And she's like, that broke the tension in our theater a little bit, but I think people were really zoned in on the movie. I think a lot of people were truly invested, and that was probably, but yeah, there was some laughter. They did have some comedic relief.
Yeah, there was one moment that our theater, like, I mean, there was only so many because it was just like a small viewing at like late hours of the night, but it was where she has the flower and she's like scuttling across. Yeah, that got me too. I was like, that was odd. Yeah.
The movement.
Yeah.
We've all, I don't know if we all
Uncanny Valley. Yeah.
Uncanny Valley. We've all like thought of like, oh, how cute and how precious like our loved one looks when they sleep, whether it's our baby or our husband or whatever. But the way it just spirals and that thing with the flower. And then actually when that happened, I was like, wait, is this going to get cheesy and corny? Is this going to get just a little bit too silly, funny? Yeah, I remember this now. But when she duct taped the door, I think a couple of people laughed, but I did not, because
that was scary. Yeah.
Part of me thought about if you were like a domestic violence victim,
for that reason,
this would be so triggering, because how much do you want to bet people have been locked into a room because their partner is like, no, you're not going out.
Yeah.
And so that was weird. Her using all that duct tape and then him trying to open it for like 10 seconds of screen time. I guess that was kind of funny. Well, he's pulling on it. He's pulling on it. And eventually it opens.
What sells the bit is that it's just not acknowledged.
It's just always like that. Yeah. He's every time he opens the door now, it's just like, okay, I have to deal with that. But
I'm going to leave now.
And you've seen it twice now. I'm curious if audiences have responded similarly, differently in either times. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I heard anyone else really chuckle besides me, because I'm sure most of the people that were there when I saw yesterday were probably seeing it for the first time. And so it was more just people being on edge. But a lot of moments for me were, kind of drew more of a chuckle out of me, because like I was reacting to just kind of the reactions from the characters. The pout from Nikki, at the party, like the way she contorts her face and
she's good at that. Yeah,
she's incredible. She truly shifts her eyes, and I know part of it's this like backlighting that's sort of reflecting on their eyes, but I'm just so in awe of actors where you can feel the change by a simple muscle movement in their face. Do you know what I mean? She did such a great job. She truly looked CGI at some points, but I know that probably wasn't in the budget. So I really think this was her acting.
I think. Yeah, because I think they did a little of this like Uncanny Valley makeup where it really focuses on contour, and it's like really like, I think it's based on the Uncanny Valley, where it's like, that weird area where something is not quite realistic to be human, but like, is it human? Is it not? It's like really weird. Like think like Robert Zemeckis' Polar Express, like that kind of vibes in a way, but also like punching it up to really like harshen those contours and like just, and play with the lighting tricks too. Yeah.
You brought up a fun term in a previous episode. I wonder if you would recall that.
Yeah.
the contrast in the lighting.
Oh, chiaroscuro.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bit of that there with like the light and the dark. It's an Italian term that like plays with chiaro, light, oscuro, dark. And I saw this a lot in things like Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro, where it really like it has a really good balance and also a storytelling motivation as to why some things are like the balance between light and dark and how that's framed quite visually, literally, and like narratively in a way. And especially the dark here and how you can still play with light within the dark in the way certain scenes are, especially with Nikki like being in shadow for a lot. And like you just see maybe like her dress, but like you see like kind of like the outline of her expression, but like you don't see everything, but you still get across like what's happening. And there's like a reason as for why, because it's like you're not sure which Nikki this is too. Like everything is obscure. So it has that narrative reason as to why it's playing with light and dark. So yeah, I can see that there for sure.
And with all these moments, you're right, like in the shadows, even like when it's her silhouette, it's not just totally blacked out.
Yeah.
You're right. I didn't notice that watching it, but they really do a great job with the lighting because so many of the scenes, like these scary scenes happen in the dark, but it's not actually dark. Like when there's a scene where Bear is meeting up with Sarah in Sarah's car after he's kind of snuck out of the house. And you notice it during that a lot. That part really, really scared me.
Ooh. Unfortunately, I had seen, it came across my feed how they filmed that. So I knew it was coming. That's the only thing I knew going into the film.
How did they film it? And the sound effects with that were too much for me. I jumped. I'm not a jumper, but when she breaks through and it's loud, I'm like, ooh. Yeah.
That was really well done. From what I could tell, they had 2 takes to do it because they had 2 pans of that breakaway glass. So what they did is they filmed most of it in 1 take. The whole conversation between the 2 of them is normal. And then once she gets to the line, I think it's, I was on your left, you were supposed to kiss me. That's when it's a new take. And that's when they bring the breakaway glass and go for it. And they only had 2 takes of that moment. But it looked really, I think the way they did it, Nikki had like a helmet wig in a way. It was like, it was her hair, but it was also a helmet underneath it. So she was able to ram up against the car and then and I think there was a stunt double that was obviously Sarah had like a body double that wasn't a real body. It was, they
didn't actually smash a face into the steering wheel?
Imagine the commitment. But yeah, they these days break into it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool seeing at least the lead up into it. And also I could tell from the behind the scenes that I saw, everybody just seemed really chill and like it was like a light environment to be that's the best. If you're filming something really heavy, it would be really awful to be around people that are just really just in the doldrums about it. But it seems like they kept a really fun, upbeat, good morale set, and everybody seemed to be good friends from what I could tell. But yeah.
Well, part of the thing that I heard about, and whether this is budget or intentional, but a majority of the scenes were filmed with minimal crew, which sort of leads, I think, actors to feel a little bit more intimate if there's not, 600 people standing around you. I do think if I were an actor, which I'm not, having, 7 people watching this scene would maybe bring out more of that in me as well. And again, I don't know why they decided to do that, but the minimal crew present probably helped a lot.
I wonder, yeah.
And also, I think for the actors knowing that a lot of it is practical effects or good acting, it's not going to be all
so cool,
done over with CGI. It probably forced them to really extensively practice these scenes, and knowing we only have 20 days, we only have 2 takes. You only have 20 days or 2 takes.
Yeah,
you're giving it your all. Especially, I don't know much about these actors. They're fairly unknown, or do you know them from anything else, Philip?
No.
Yeah, no, they're pretty much unknowns, just have minor roles and other things.
From what I've even seen on TikTok too, is people were posting their auditions because they didn't know that they auditioned for Obsession until they saw the movie, and they're like, wait, I've read this scene before. So I think they had auditions open on Actors Access for people to send in self-tapes like you would for any other project. But you see a lot of particularly lower budget films will like put out casting calls
Oh.
on Actors Access and not go through agencies and stuff because they, you know, they're working with what they got. So I think a lot of these people might be, I mean, maybe not now, but like unrepresented and stuff like that, which is really cool to see. So yeah.
The YouTube channel he comes from is called This Was a Bad Idea. Like it's a collaboration with the actor who plays Ian.
Yeah, they're like a comedy duo.
Cooper Tomlinson. Yeah. And so, and that's, it's very comedic oriented. Yeah. Like Key and Peele. That's another
Tim
inspiration.
and Eric kind of a vibe. Yeah.
And then, of course, Jordan Peele would go on to direct, movies like Nope, and like horror.
And Nirvana the band, which I don't know if you guys have seen Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. Oh, highly recommend. Don't look up anything before you see it. But this has been a big year for like YouTubers making like big films. Like they're one of them. And then I think Markiplier made Iron Lung, which I haven't gotten the chance to see yet. But like that's another horror film as well. So like, yeah, there's something there. I wonder what that's about. But yeah.
So, you know, these creators on YouTube, do you think the reason why these movies, Backrooms, I guess I'm just referring to Backrooms and Obsession, do you think it's because they have that organic following already that's out there like promoting them and excited about it? Or like the New York Times, basically the big question was like, how are we going to get Gen Z to the theater? Because, you know, everyone says it's kind of dying and it's a lot of like Toy Story 5 and Star Wars 462. And it's kind of like the hand-me-downs. And they said horror has always done a little bit better with the younger generation. But do you think like this is going to be, you know, all these scouts going into YouTube now trying to find the next Obsession or try to find the next Backrooms? Like, do you think it's going to be a surge of that?
I could see that, yeah.
In the industry instead of the Hollywood, classic directors?
Well, there'll be kind of a trend now more towards that because it's been not as common until more recently. But, you know, we've just got a gradual, filtering of talent, I think, through the ecosystem of YouTube, where it's fiercely competitive for eyeballs. So people need to be producing stuff that's A tier if they want to be successful at it. And that'll translate probably to some of these really resonant feature film projects that we're now seeing. I didn't see Iron Lung. It was a little long and kind of plodding, but I'll have to maybe check out. I don't know. It sounded really bizarre, but yeah, maybe it's decent. I don't think, based on what I've heard, it's not nearly as like sharply written as something like this. But yeah, the thing that really draws me to this is just kind of the story construction and the dialogue. You would like
Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. I'm going to recommend it a bajillion times. Like I'll put it in the chat as well. Again, don't look up anything. Just enjoy the ride. Anyway.
Well, it was funny. I listened to that New York Times podcast that you shared, Jody, and they referenced this thing called corn plating, which came out.
Oh my God. I know what that is. That's so funny.
I know what that is, but I always thought it was called Easter eggs or like Taylor Swift. I mean, they say with Taylor Swift music videos and Taylor Swift songs that people dig into the details.
Oh, sure.
I had never heard of corn plating, and I was like,
that's so funny. I hadn't had a chance to read that, but that's really funny that came up because, I feel like that was because that came from Encanto Twitter, where that movie came out at a time where everybody was indoors in a way, and we love fandom. I'm big into fandom, and somebody made a tweet that was like, I didn't realize she was holding a plate of corn in this scene. And that's just become corn plating now, where it's like, okay, now we're noticing things that don't really need to be, it's just a thing.
Do they? I mean, that's the fun of, I think, the discourse. Maybe
that's right. Yeah. Sometimes,
because
it's another, the curtains were blue, but sometimes they are for a reason. But sometimes the curtains are just blue. But yeah.
For me, and I think actually it ties in so well with the movie Obsession, but I corn plated, quote unquote, with the movie Don't Worry, Darling, which is similar to Obsession in the sense of the person's freedom to consent or autonomy. There's this scene where he's like, your life was miserable. You were unhappy. I saved you. I saved us. And she's like, but it was my life, because he's trapped her into this. You've all seen it, right?
I
Yeah.
have not. No.
Sort of trapped her into this simulation world where he gets to like live this perfect idealistic life with her or whatever. He gets his dream, but she has no say. She's
Oh, I can see the
living in a video
parallel.
game
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
And obsession, I mean, that's another really big question, is like that ability to choose once it's taken away. Like, are you even with someone? Do you know what I mean? Like, or are they just like a puppet? Like, are you just living
Yeah.
And so, but that was a movie that I went cornplating on. Is it a verb?
Well,
It
yeah,
could
yeah, you used it correctly, but yeah, just like kind of obsessing over the minor minutia. I mean, we love our Disney animation here, and we
Of
haven't
course.
gotten to Zootopia 2, which we need to do. I mean, I think part of our MO here on the Thoughtcast, we don't upload a ton. We just hang when we can over Zoom and so forth, because we like to chat about these things, book club sort of vibe. But like when stuff comes out on streaming, I think it's much easier for some of us, like Bridget or Jody, you and Bridget have kids, so I think that should maybe be more of like our kind of SEO agenda
When we get to it. Yeah.
yeah, it's not necessarily the new releases in theaters and such that we're prioritizing. It's like, once it's more readily available for folks, it's a great fodder for broader conversation. But
I wonder when this will start streaming. Sorry to interrupt, but I was
I
thinking
hope
about
like
that
tomorrow, because I'm so ready to rewatch it, and my kids
Yes,
are
in
preventing
my
me from
house.
like living my best
Yeah.
life. I will say though, musicals and horror movies, when and if I rarely watch these things, I do like to watch them in theaters, because something about being scared with the audience gives me sleepover vibes. Like, I'm with my 5 friends and we're gonna
that's
all get
fun.
spooked together and walking through the haunted house, but like with a group of other people. I really do like watching this in the theater setting. I think I would have liked it if I watched it at home as well, but I do think scary movies are a group activity. I do not want to watch it all by myself. I will though. I will with
That's
this one,
fair.
because I
Yeah.
like the theme, like Philip's like saying like this question of like what makes love meaningful, what makes it real, what happens when we get the object of our desire. Aladdin, a little bit.
Careful what you wish for. Very bad.
Yeah, the kind of the trope within pop culture is like the monkey's paw.
Yes.
and
yeah.
that's
What
like
is
an
that?
old. Laura, are you familiar with the original monkey's paw?
I actually don't know the original, but I do know it as just a trope where it's like a quite literal object that's kind of like a MacGuffin, I guess you can say, of where it's like where it's like a trade-off that you make, and kind of like a Faustian bargain in a way, where it's like you want something, you give something in exchange, or you get something and it like ruins your life as a result of you getting the thing that you want. Something like that. Yeah.
Is it in reference to like a story or like a?
It's got to come from somewhere, and I don't know where specifically. Yeah.
There's a 1902
There you go.
short story by W.W. Jacobs. It's also the name of Jordan Peele's production company.
Oh,
I thought I
hey.
had heard
That's
it
cool.
before, and I didn't know if like I was delusional, huh? And so like essentially like someone got a wish and it turned out differently.
Yeah, well, the idea of wishes is something that has been in stories since time immemorial, and immemorial. No, the classic genie and the lamp. Did you notice? Well, if you've only seen the movie once, you might not pick up on little details like the search engine he's using has a LLM AI search called Genie LM.
I did see that. Yeah, I was like their version of ChatGPT. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it would make sense that this is more like a pagan sort of possession that's taken over, and I don't know. It just made me wonder, like, the real Nikki, is she trapped somewhere? Like when he calls into the customer service, and then you hear her screaming in the background. Is that like the real Nikki locked into some purgatory?
Gosh,
Yes, Philip, I had forgotten. I need to rewatch it. I had already forgotten about that part when the phone is picked up. So essentially Bear calls in. He's like, hey, reverse, like I'm done with this. And it's funny because I remember the lady at the wishing store, she's like, people keep coming in and complaining about this. And I was like, what the heck are they? Like, it's, you know, I didn't know where it was going at the time. But when he calls and it's sort of quiet on the other end, and it just sounds like this guy in his mom's basement, like, but like in the weirdest way, like like someone you'd call, like someone you'd know. And this is customer service for this, like, huge
casual.
that's going on. It's this random guy.
Did you say that's the director, by the way?
Oh, it is. That's great. Oh, cool.
Very cool. Very cool that that's his cameo. But when she starts screaming in pain and in terror and in horror,
Devastating.
I was so freaked out because, again, like I said, throughout the movie, I wasn't really thinking about her still existing. I thought like her brain had changed, and it's like, no, this is not. She's somewhere else. And I think you nailed it, Philip. Like the real Nikki, who like comes out briefly to say like, please kill me. She's like in a hell somewhere because she's, I don't know, her spirit, her soul is like
a purgatory of sorts. Yeah.
Crazy. And what creeps me out, and this is going to be like, maybe, I don't know, like, I do feel like there are men out there who would be fine with it.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? Like,
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
And that is what creeps me out too. And I will say in the beginning, I was like, well, what's so wrong with her being obsessed with you? Like, that's fun. Like, lean into it. Like, you guys could like just love her more and she'll love you.
Yeah, because they had that cute montage. Everything looked like it was going well. Like, yeah.
I do feel like there are men who'd be perfectly fine with like their girlfriends standing.
She's a little quirky, and that's okay.
Exactly. Like, and that's kind of like gross and scary too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a connoisseur of YouTube, you know, I've seen a few like corn plating videos about obsession, of course. And one I didn't watch, but I saw the title of it was like, what incels don't understand about obsession. It's like, I think, I
mean, who knows? Yeah.
There are certain people might take away
speaks to that. Yeah.
The wrong message here. Yeah. Because, and perfect analog with like the Olivia Wilde film.
Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah. Because that is depriving a woman of her agency ultimately in pursuit of this more idealistic, relationship.
Yeah. It's tragic because she really had no say in this when she very well could have. Again, like we said at the beginning, like had things been different, she might have been more open to it. But then you like, there are so many moments where like you kind of see a glimpse of like, oh, is this really her? Like, is any of this really her? Like any of, like, also like you can see going back to the costume discussion, her style changes. Is that anything that she would actually want to wear? Or is this like this demon deciding that she's going to wear this? And like, nobody knows that's what's happening. It's just like this blend of like what's real and what's not, which is really fascinating.
And sorry, Philip, because you've seen this more than once. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like before, The Wish, are there hints that she likes him? Because I was surprised to find out that she had been like sleeping with Ian, right? I walked out of the theater and kind of came back in for a second. I went and got that bottle of water I was telling you about. And then they're mentioning like, no, she's been like seeing Ian sort of for the past like year or whatever. So do you think like, were there hints that she really, really wouldn't have picked Bear? Like, did you notice anything like that?
Yeah, it's just I think, unfortunate case of him being just a little bit too, I don't know.
Attentive?
I think she just doesn't feel attracted to him in that kind of romantic way, ultimately. But it is kind of, it's still tricky because, like, she has potentially slightly codependent relationship with him just as a confidant, as a, someone she's texting, I've experienced kind of like friends who are girls with whom I've exchanged, long conversations, late into the night, and thinking that, maybe there's potential for, something more here. And then ultimately learning that that was never in the cards, Yeah.
Right. Like it was a safe space to land. And like, I feel like it's so appreciated. And then
But
Yeah, I'm sure
that's
I've
not-
done that. I've done that to people as well, like in friendships. And again, it's just another way that I think this movie is relatable.
And that's
No.
not really fully ethical on the girl's part in that case.
Mhm.
Like you should realize that whether you're conscious of this other person's, potential romantic intentions for you, you should still, be conscious of like, the amount of attention that you're giving to this relationship and what you're getting from it. Are you,
Exactly. There was a little point in the beginning where she was almost teasing. I'm like, do you like me, Bear? Or like, this is
Right.
your one chance to tell me. And
I mean,
I'm like,
at least she realizes it because I think she
Yeah.
knows at that
But
point.
she should have said, like,
Yeah.
if she didn't like him, she could have said, hey, like, if you're getting feelings about me, or like, if you like me, that's not a route like I want to go down. But she kind of like wants to force him to say it, which was sort of, I'm not going to hold anything against Nikki because she literally went through hell and back. So, but there were probably moments where she could have been a little more like, and I mean, especially in their work environment. I mean, Laura knows when you work with a group of people, whether it's princess people or theater people or whatever, there are people talking to people to talking to people. I'm sure it was no secret. Sarah had to have told Nikki, or like Ian had to have told Nikki, like, hey, this guy has a huge crush on you. Like, so she did know, and she probably could have, but I will not be victim blaming because,
Right, yeah.
because she went through such a horrible time. But I agree.
It's a slippery slope because it's like, like you never know of the potential, and also like if they would have even been compatible, because like the demon, I guess, version of her, I don't know what else to call her, but the possessed version gives him this like tiger's eye, I think that's what it is, to like make him because like with all like the crystals and stuff, she's like really into that, and that one in particular is like encouraging courage, and I think maybe that speaks to something that speaks to his insecurity. He's not particularly courageous, and then kind of grows into it by the end with the big courageous act, I guess, that he does. But yeah, like I don't know if she would have even been into him if he was more courageous or not. But like, yeah.
What courageous act does he do? At the end?
By like sacrificing himself in a way, like
But did he do that because he wanted her to be free, or did he do that?
That's the question. That's the question.
Mess?
Yeah.
The ending, and I don't know how it could have been better, but I was like, you know what? Now that this girl's awake, or the real Nikki has come back, and you've cut yourself out of the picture, she is stuck with all these bodies around her.
It's too little too late in a way.
Alone.
Yeah.
She's probably going to go to jail. Like she is in such a horrible situation now, and you've just opted out. And I think it's, I mean, no one likes people choosing to end their own life, but I sometimes feel like it's literally like, I don't know, not the coward's way out. That's not what I'm saying, but I feel like
in this situation,
could have thought other things through than to just, and I don't think he did it
because he calls the number, and the number gives him the idea of like, well, the only way is if you die, like, or else, there's really no backsies with this.
And I just don't think he did it because of care for her. I think he wanted to just get out of that situation. At that point, he was being driven crazy. And I think if he like had really loved her, he would have figured something else out, like got her in a way better situation. Because I just think of like what's going to happen the next 2 days to this girl, and it's like she's going to be,
if she survives, like maybe, if she survives. Because who knows what she's going to do at that point? I
just want to repeat that, like, I do not think like suicide is a coward's way out. I'm just saying that in this movie, I feel like he like didn't take the responsibility for his actions. I feel like he wasn't doing it to hold accountability to himself.
Motivation.
Yes.
Things,
for everyone else, like, no. Like,
they really spin out of control at the end. And, like it goes just full bizarro, when
I loved it. I love the slow burn of it. And then once we really get into the mayhem, it's just, I was here for the ride.
From the sky.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
He thought, when he's like, you know what? I figured it out. This guy can make the wish. It can be fixed. Bada bing, bada boom. I was like, oh, wait. Yeah, like that's the easiest solution ever. Like maybe this wraps up weird, but whatever. I wish her $1 billion. Snap. I was like, are you kidding? And then it let the money fall for a good,
and
like,
they did that
seconds.
Again manually. I saw behind the scenes they had money that was just they were throwing. It was so funny.
But the I guess, layering of like the monkey paw situation onto the wish for $1 billion. The mapping of that is kind of and with any of these wishes in this film, I think the mechanics of it are purely based on the wisher's intentions. Bear gets the wish that manifests based on what he's feeling. He wants Nikki to feel the same way that he feels.
He's feeling obsessed,
yes.
and that's what that transfers onto her feeling obsessed towards it. That's where the obsession comes from, and all.
And
that.
like just money appearing from the sky, like that's the most basic form of I wish I had $1 billion and just give me a whole bunch of bills.
Because he doesn't have any particular feeling. He's just like want $1 billion, But yeah, it makes me think of like what other people have rich
about
for.
it. That was another laughing point in the theater where he's like knocking on the door. He's like, "Man, open the door!
I did it.
I have $1 billion." Or he says something along those lines while Bear is dealing with
all of that. Things. Yeah, I saw. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh. No, it would be a tangent.
Oh, sure. No, I saw a TikTok of, I think it was another actor who was in that friend group of like the bros, but he talked about like, he made his own unofficial post-credit scene of him walking in the room of Ian's house and being like, oh, there's a bunch of money here.
Oh, that would be funny. Like a post-credit
really
scene where someone walks in and there's literally $1 billion cash on the ground.
Okay, what do I do with this? Yeah.
That could be that could jumpstart a sequel, like an obsession thing where something happens with the money. If they do a sequel, I just feel like, please don't. I feel like
it was very well contained.
Yeah, like let this director have a whole nother
project.
But Obsession, I think really, as much as I don't like the ending, it ended the way it needed to end.
Yeah, it was kind of the only way out, is what I was thinking about it in my head. I was like, you got yourself into a pickle, so you got to get into a deeper pickle to get out of it, in a way. Yeah.
Speaking of, where is a grandma through all this?
I think it's
lives at his grandma's, and Philip, like, where is she?
In the opening, the opening scene in the diner. I think he mentions that Nikki was a big support for him through the death of his nana.
Oh, okay.
It's very
so he's inherited the house, is what I gathered from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, this was a hard watch as a cat owner. I was like, oh no, I didn't realize all this stuff with the cat was happening, and gave my cat a real big hug when I came home. I was like, I
heard like a little theory that some people think he killed the cat as a way to like connect emotionally sadness with. I mean, I don't think that's the case. I think Bear is just. Yeah, I don't think Bear's a bad guy in the beginning, but
the cat dies and he takes off work as a result. He's so devastated, and you hear him crying over it. But then later, like he's in a car with Nikki, and he's talking to her and says, "Oh, cats, Sandy." I don't think I fully processed it yet. Well, no, you've had a day and you were crying. No, so if you haven't processed certain things, it's not I think it's his feelings for Nikki ultimately, if he's dealing with stuff that's still weighing him down. And he's.
Well, let's just talk about how she like fed him the cat, though.
Oh my
disgusting.
God. Yeah.
Who would have even thought? I had no idea it was going to go in that direction. I thought the conversation they had together the night before was
the
super
food critic.
cute. Yeah. Yes, I thought it was for them. I mean, until it turned.
No.
That was a moment of like, wow, like this could really work.
Yeah.
And that cat moment, the cat meat. Fear factor. Fear factor. Yeah.
The moments when she, meets his disapproval, because of course she does so many weird things in this movie, and then she's trying to get over it, and then she just makes that, contorted smile face. That got me big time.
And she'd be like, no, baby, no.
That's great too.
I was like, this is so. Do you guys watch Love Island?
I do not, but I've seen the trailers.
What Love Island is.
Yes,
these people thrown on an island, whatever.
Yeah,
and there are girls and maybe boys, but girls for sure. They're like, no, that's not what no. Like that is such a thing, like, oh, hold up, I can fix it, and just. When she screams in the restaurant, I thought we were having a nice date. I thought we were having a good time.
Ah, so good. Yeah.
People had those thoughts.
Oh, that's great.
So good. The script, all of of it.
Her like micro expressions really got me. Like I don't know how
Her
you can
body
contort
language.
yes. Very well done.
I'm sure her inbox is like overflowing with like offers right now from other people.
I mean,
on
she deserves
project.
it. I mean, they all do. They're all very talented. Yeah.
I saw a lot of people who are more like lukewarm on Bear as an actor, but I don't think it's the
Well,
actor.
it's just because the character,
It's the
yeah,
character,
really
because
kind of
I thought
put
he was
people off,
very
I guess.
believable. I thought he was a great.
which is the mark of a good actor. It's like, oh, you made me feel things about this person where I'm like, if I encounter you in real life, well, I don't know how I'd react, but like, yeah.
Here, want to hear something funny? I'm gonna play this here. See.
No, we were having a real nice time.
Oh, sure, you betcha. The Minnesota version.
Yeah,
The Minnesota girls and queens, the Midwest queens.
Did one of you share that, or how?
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw that on
yeah.
TikTok and I was like, that is relevant for our chat. Yes.
Don't show that to my husband. He always like laughs about how Minnesota people are like with their hot dish and the Fisk, and he thinks it's like a caricature. So don't let him listen to that. He hasn't seen it yet, and I can't wait because I feel
he's
like
gonna
there's
love
so
it.
many moments, especially early on in a relationship or prior to a relationship starting, where you do get a little out there because you're insecure a little bit, and you're like, wait, don't you like me? You know, in your head.
You're second guessing, and it's just
You're
like,
second guessing.
you don't want to lose what you have. And also,
And I can
it's
change
just-
it. I
yeah.
can fix it. I just won't do that
Yeah.
again. And we're going to be fine. And so many moments. That's a huge reason why people probably liked this. And I wish I had taken notes in the theater because there were so many things that stood out to me.
I want to maybe make a couple more comments on Bear specifically. And yeah, he's, inherited this house from grandma, very nice, but like, you really got to dispose of the old medications.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I know you're not supposed to just like flush them down the toilet or throw them in a trash. You're supposed to bring them to like a actual official disposal, clinic or whatever. But, take initiative. And he's a total bummer of a person. He's a mope. He doesn't have. He wants to be a food critic, but he puts ketchup on his steak.
He's a daydreamer. I mean, sure, like a mope, but he is a guy who's going to think about it instead of do it, which
Yes.
we've all been
He's
in
gonna
those
stew
shoes.
on it for
I'm
a
sure, Laura,
long
there's
time.
sometimes where you
Oh,
think,
yeah.
I should audition for that. And for some reason or another, not putting, the
No,
light.
that's real. That's
But
very real.
A daydreamer, and like this is how it maybe could be, but you know what? Ketchup is
Yeah.
fine. Like I'll just do ketchup. It's okay.
I mean-
and that is his big bad trait, is that he builds up these scenarios in his head, but he doesn't have the initiative. Okay, moper is fine, but we could also call him a daydreamer.
It's not bad because he actually has, great bidding prospects with Sarah. Like she's into him.
Yeah.
He has a job, and I mean, he has a house, and he was taking care of that cat. But
Yeah.
how did that cat get
Yeah,
into the
because like, how do you get into like? I mean,
These are
first of all,
childproof.
yeah, that's like it's a cabinet, and like cats do not have opposable thumbs, so it's
Bottle.
like
the cabinet. What had
yeah, who knows?
the magnet holding the cabinet shut was going bad. Like so, it was.
Oh, it's one
it
of
kept
those.
popping open.
Yeah,
These are things that you'll notice if you.
yeah.
You
Hey, it
know,
was
there
left
was
open. The bottle.
Multiple. No, the cabinet was left
The
open.
cabinet was.
And then the bottle must have just, sometimes, the cat maybe got up on the sink, was just walking past, the tail bumped the door, the cabinet, and that bumped
Very
into one of the
loose
bottles
bottle.
and
I
it
don't
fell
know.
down. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't think my cat would be able to do that. Then again, I don't want to test that out. My gosh, but yeah. Oof.
Yeah, you just, I guess the place wasn't a total dump, but,
could've
yeah,
looked
some
after
things-
her.
Definitely
a little
grandma's house,
Yes.
Same with like the furniture. Obviously his job is probably minimum wage, and he's this working guy that's just starting. But yeah, but maybe that makes him feel like his grandma is still close, because I mean, another big trait he has is loneliness. I mean,
Yeah.
he's feeling disconnected. He has his cat for companionship. And that, I think that loneliness is where he gets lost in these images, and where he can create this version of Nikki that is this perfect match for him. And yeah, he's a lonely guy in his grandma's house.
Yeah.
I feel like she would have dated him.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the idea I got. I was just like, hey, let things run their course and like maybe build up, maybe just communicate. I don't know. Is that so
He
crazy?
just ignored the red flags so many times where I kept thinking he was gonna do something about her craziness. You know what I mean? But he just refuses to like face
No,
the
he's
reality
very
because
content with that. And that's what really turned me off of the character. I was like, oh, so this woman is suffering because at least at this point we know now there is a difference between the real her and this version that's become overtaken, and that she's never going to be herself again if we don't fix this. And like, that is your responsibility. You put her in this very optional situation that she could not even opt into. Like, you kind of bestowed this upon her and she has to live with the consequences of your actions. So like, yeah, let's do something about that. Yeah, that was the idea I had.
I'm like, why didn't he just run away? Oh, I suppose she would have found him. Like this obsession.
Yeah.
But
because she could probably run real fast or something.
yeah, she could probably run super fast.
Trying to think of other examples of pining taken to the extreme. I mean, there's the famous.
She just waits for. So go ahead. Sorry.
We'll get to the ending.
Yeah.
But just like in movies, sometimes the theme is sort of driven home that, you just gotta keep trying. You gotta wear her down, man. The classic John Cusack holding the boombox over his head.
Oh, yeah.
John Hughes movie. And I know I'm trying to think. I thought there was maybe like a Disney example of this, like an evil character, but then the resistance of obviously like Jasmine, would never.
That was going to be my thing when Jafar turns Jasmine into Red Jasmine.
Oh, right.
And he kind of like traps her.
I think maybe the most effective manifestation of that in a Disney animated film is Rapunzel when, Mother Gothel wants to, just lock her and keep her as a possession for all of eternity. And, she is just very articulate, Rapunzel, in just stating outright, like, I will never stop resisting, no matter what it takes.
Mother? I love that scene.
Yeah. So like, the idea of wearing someone down, it's really, not something.
Wearing them into complacency where like they're just going to be content because it's just like, well, there's nothing else I can do. I've exhausted my options. Even if they don't know that there are options. Like,
It's probably not the same as like the Disney movie, but like Hunchback of Notre Dame, Frollo with Esmeralda, basically like, if I can't have her, like burn her.
No one will. Yeah,
exactly. Like trap her in the cathedral. Like that's, hopefully I can catch her there. I don't know how much, it's been a long time since I saw the animated movie, but that's like Frollo because he's lusting after this young gypsy girl. Yeah, but he like figures out he can just corner her, a certain way, but no wishes, no magic in that sense, just a creepy man.
So great. Hellfire, dark fire.
But really, before we do wrap up, I was curious because I was thinking like, what if I had a wish and I knew it was true, but I knew there was a risk. Did either of you think about it all, like what your wish might be, even if you knew there would be, consequences? Would you just not make a wish at all? Would you?
I'd have to proofread it, really make sure that I'm wording this the way that I want to word it.
He did not need to word it like that. Like love more than anyone in the entire world and everything.
That's what did it. And also his mentality going in, like, was really desperation. And like, if you kind of come about it from a healed perspective and like, maybe meditate on it for a second. Be like,
I wish I had the courage to tell her how I feel.
Yeah, identify what the real problem is. Is the problem her not liking you or you not like rising to the occasion? Like, because she didn't do anything. She's just existing. Like, that's kind of on you to make a move or not make a move, whatever you decide to do. But I wonder.
Is it hard? Is it too hard to think of something?
I don't know.
I think after a movie like this, no one wants to make a wish because you realize like the repercussions are just like too steep.
I mean, we saw the $1 billion one ended up pretty well. So it's like, well, if all else fails.
Money it is.
If all else fails. Yeah.
But then it could be like at what cost? Like, your whole family died and you got their life insurance. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But You know
I
what I
want
mean?
$1 billion to fall from the sky, but then it will hit you and like
It
you'll
will hit
die.
you on the
Yeah,
head and
yeah.
you'll be, yeah, exactly. You can't like move a muscle.
No.
And I think, honestly, I talked about it when we first kicked off, but Into the Woods taught me that early on as well.
Yes.
Act 2, where their wishes have come true and they're not satisfied.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have to work for something, if you're not earning it, then it's ultimately going
And then what's
to.
the point of the wish at the? Yeah, it's like
That's, yeah. Even Curry Barker in one clip I saw mentions that notion of like the merit of, the fruits of these wishes that people conceive of. It's really, part of the monkey's paw. The thing that sort of, pulls the gratification away, that you think you're reaching for, is just the mere fact that you're not actually, paying the true price for what most of these things, would normally cost. And like even, that show Once Upon a Time, that was a major theme with like Rumpelstiltskin. He always says, magic always comes with a price. It's like his catchphrase.
I haven't seen it, but
oh, you'd be into it. I feel like because it's like the Disney stories, but like in a new perspective, I guess. It's also got the craziest lore. Like the way, if you look at like a family tree of what characters are interacting with or in relationships with or related to what characters, you would be shocked. Like, it's just like, oh, what's happening here? But yeah, it was kind of a niche thing. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're careful, you can work magic probably to some benefit. You have to more take.
Yeah, because there were positive reviews on the thing when he was looking it up. He was like, half of the people were like, this worked great. Like half of the people were like, this sucked. This ruined my life. So like,
wait, is there a scene where he's looking it up online?
Yeah, I think he looks up like the name of the product. And like he looks and he sees like reviews and it's literally like 50-50. Like every other one is like, this was awesome. This changed my life. And the next one was like, this ruined my life. Piece of crap. Like, yeah.
I think
it's either going to be the best thing in the world.
It's a 50-50.
It's not going to necessarily work. Yeah. There's like a little more. It's sort of like Big, the one time the wish is actually granted by this, Zoltar machine or whatever. It's this kid who discovers it, in this weird circumstance. And like, he goes to this really funny, was it the crystal shop, basically?
Yeah, I loved the employee at the crystal. Both of them were really good. Like, I really loved their acting. But like it's for such a small bit role, I was like, yeah, that was really well done.
She appears in one of their YouTube short films.
Oh yeah, I love that they bring in their friends and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, there's even like a short that they made of like, what if Jake from State Farm were real? And so it's like,
I think I saw that one. Yeah. Okay.
Some of these
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, supernatural concepts, like what if they actually did work for some people? And so that the One Wish Willow, it just happened to work in this one instance, and I guess presumably has worked in other instances too, but not. It's maybe more due to the store having some weird juju swimming around.
Oh yeah, I mean it's surrounded with crystals and who knows what properties they imbue.
Yeah, and what a weird shop owner. Not the first one, not the girl who's on her cell phone.
The guy.
The second guy.
He was interesting.
He was really very interesting. He clearly knew something was like going on.
Yeah.
And
he's probably gotten the negative reviews and stuff. And he's like, oh, well. And he was very dismissive about it. But like, I don't think he knew what the extent of this particular wish gone wrong was happening. Or maybe he did. And he was like,
saw him come in all bloody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have to assume it's gone very, very wrong.
Yeah.
He was weirdly in the know of the whole situation. But yeah, that's kind of funny that you have these.
Do you think he was the guy on the phone or no? Like just vocally, like.
No,
because I mean,
the guy on the phone sounded like a younger, like in his 20s guy that just didn't care.
And that was the director too. Never mind. Yeah.
But I mean, that would be an interesting theory if that was.
Maybe he worked there or something. Yeah. And this help desk of sorts for the One Wish Willow.
I really like that character though. Yeah. The dude who worked there. And I don't know, there were a couple of scenes where I was distracted by just kind of odd little nitpicks. There were like these, shall we say, sex toy shaped like candles at the checkout counter. Did you notice that? They were just
I
like,
don't think I noticed
like,
that.
I
That's
don't
funny
know.
though.
That does seem like something that would maybe potentially be in a shop like that, though.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, and like there's a scene of the digital clock, and I was like, oh, are they going to try to really like make it consistent from scene to scene, continuity wise, like the readout
the
on
timing, yeah.
the, and it really like in one moment it said like 12:08, which made a lot of sense. That scene, the first night they're together, and she's asking him to come to bed, and they're cuddling, and yeah, it starts out it's 8 minutes after midnight, and says on the 7 segment display there, and then it cuts to another shot that's basically immediately afterwards, and it's a totally different. In fact, it looks like it says 16:55 for whatever reason. So I don't know. It's just
It broke.
the clock.
Yeah. I mean, my clock in my car is rarely right, honestly. So yeah.
You're living on a wing and a prayer.
Yeah.
Does anyone ever reference in the movie what the timeline is? Like, has this happened all over the course of like a weekend?
Yeah, I was
or
wondering with like the
a year?
montage, like, because that seemed like a long stretch of time.
A chunk
but
of time. where
but
they're
then
having-
it didn't.
We
yeah.
brought this up with Wuthering Heights, where it seemed like they, were seeing each other for a long time over the course of these events, but like it
the
couldn't have been-
pregnancy gave us more of a like short time span
sure.
because
But these sorts of whirlwind romances really do
Like 3
collapse.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Who
like
knows?
time stands still when people are
Yeah.
going through this sort of ecstasy. So it makes sense, Because like the cat, what did they have, the cat in a freezer or something that they?
yeah, like why was the meat
Yeah.
still even around?
I think he bury the cat? Like, I guess, yeah, he did. But like, how did he preserve it? Like, what was that? Yeah.
Well, she takes it out again to make that little shrine. That's
Yeah.
an early warning sign for him.
And then, yeah, it just sticks around.
Maybe it just hadn't been more than a week or a few days, and it's just
I
like
wonder. Yeah, it probably had to have been like at a minimum a week, which that makes sense. But like, yeah, all of that montage stuff that could have probably happened in like a course of a couple of days. She has multiple outfit changes, but she's fashionable, I guess. I didn't see a season change, so that would have maybe indicated something more. But who knows? Yeah.
Well, we'll let Jody, get to her response of motherly. No,
I know. I was just gonna say my wish is that like my kids would be great sleepers, but just knowing
Oh no!
these wishes go,
yeah.
they like
It's a
literally
little
never
too
wake
literal
up.
for that.
I
yeah.
know. I was like, I'm not gonna wish anything about my little demon kids.
Yeah. Oh.
No, they're actually very, very good. They're very good.
good. Oh.
It's because they don't have any screen time. I'm telling you.
Hey.
Actually, Little Bear. But they're not watching Obsession just yet.
I
Although
love
I
Little
do
Bear.
want to go to it
I
tomorrow.
love quiet, like, quiet media, like very ASMR-y. It's very sweet. I grew up on that. That and like Kipper and Franklin, a lot of those shows. Yeah, they're slow and quiet.
I know
I can't imagine like taking him to a movie like this because like right now he watches the ABCs. He's like, why they do that? Why they do that?
no.
Why they do that? And to be honest, during Obsession, I'm like, why they do that?
You're thinking that
Why
too.
they do that?
Why did they do
He's
that?
just
Yeah, yeah.
expressing early and like audibly, like what? Why are they doing this? Like, why is she
Aw.
doing that? Why? And it's kind of funny because that is how
That's what we wonder as people.
Yeah, that was what I was wondering the whole time I watched Obsession. Like, what is he gonna do?
Yeah.
Why is he doing that? Wait, why is she doing? No, you know,
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
to hear out of the mouths of babes.
Oh.
But no, I'm so happy we got to talk about this. You guys should really brainstorm what your wish might be and like send it back. I'm curious. Ruminate on it, like think it through. But this movie is worth talking about and worth watching. So I'm so happy we got to discuss it.
Yeah.
So just a note on the ending. You've got kind of a Shakespearean thing going on, the tragedy of the love sacrificing himself, so to speak. It's.
Did you guys think for a second that maybe the ending was going to be, okay, they're both just going to be super obsessed with each other and like that's how this is going to play out?
the thought crossed my mind. I was like,
Or did you think he was
there's a
gonna
reality in which the two of them survive this, and they're the only ones that survive this, and they are just stuck in this hell, like
this toxic
yeah,
relationship.
and maybe
yeah.
he grows to like it, like in a weird way, you know, like maybe he
wouldn't
gets
have a choice.
infected.
Yeah,
like,
he'd be
yeah,
infected.
yeah.
He took the drugs, so he's on his way out once she makes the wish, and she's about to, she's still under the curse, and so has the gun is actually foreshadowed. It's a little
Chekhov's gun. Yeah.
Because Carter, the store owner, keeps the gun in the
Oh
safe.
yeah, they mentioned it. Yeah,
Oh,
very randomly, and you're like, gun mention. Yeah.
But and then she under the she always talks about killing herself while she's under the spell, and it almost does until it breaks because Bear has succumbed to the drugs, even after she has wished that he would fall just as madly in love with her. And so that would have been an interesting route. The one I know they for sure filmed, but changed, at the or ultimately went with the version that exists, is that they both ultimately did die.
Her as well.
Yeah.
I think
I'm happy they didn't do that. I love when she pushes his body off her.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious, and I love it. Like, she goes from wanting to literally eat him and consume him and be him and love him,
nothing to
like,
do with
get
him.
off me.
Yeah, and there was always the turn of her becoming lucid, breaking the spell, but the thought that maybe after that happens and all the trauma she's been through, she would just still go through with the suicide. But ultimately they changed that aspect.
You know what I thought they were going to do? I thought that after he was dead and gone, I thought they were going to like do some type of throwback, or like, they find like this note in her backpack where she's like, do you want to be my boyfriend? Like, it was going to turn out that like all along
She was into
he
him,
would have gotten like what he wished. Like,
Had he
I
not
thought
wished
they were
for
gonna do
it.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Like, but I guess having the unknown makes it interesting. But I thought that would be a nice little,
Dramatic
because then it's like,
irony kind
you
of a
never
thing.
know, because then all those what do you call it, yearners out there would have hope. So maybe not, I don't know.
And of course she says, if I have a crush on a guy, he would never know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Adds to it. Yeah.
She's an enigma.
But these are all things that people say.
Yeah.
And the things like, well, I would just die if I didn't have you, or like I would just kill myself, like if he broke up with me or whatever. I hear stuff like that. Not so much now that we're a little older, but I know in my
People
early,
say it offhandedly, like all the time.
And I knew girls, granted I had a dramatic friend group, but who, I mean, I don't think they would have necessarily done that, but they really thought that they would just kill themselves if their boyfriends broke up with them. Like, for real, So just the whole thing, very real. Like, great job, director. He's tuned in with young love, and
and maybe he speaks from experience. Like, who knows?
Maybe,
but
Crazy, well, very incisive, very insightful, and a lot to explore still from. Not just the director, Curry Barker, who clearly has a lot of ideas, but also these actors who I'm super excited to see, them show up in other things now. In Indy Navarrete.
As Nikki. Oh my gosh. It was so refreshing to just see like new faces. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I'm here for the ride. Yeah.
Michael Johnson, I think Michael Johnson.
He's the only one that I kind of recognized though. And I was like, wait. I know him, but not from films. Like, where do I know him from? But yeah.
I just hope before we log off here, is like, I really do hope that this brings more of the like smaller scale things into the masses. Just like that there's proof in the pudding that people will pay money and you can make $300 million off a $1 million project. Hopefully that gets people out there and looking, because there's so much talent. There are so many unique perspectives and stories to tell, and so many actors that could bring us something like this. So it's exciting. It's refreshing. And I want more of it. I want more fresh tomatoes.
Yeah. Spread the wealth around. Yeah.
Yeah. The wealth.
This was originally, just a very micro budget independent film. It got picked up by Focus Features and Blumhouse, subsidiaries of Universal. So it'll probably show up on Peacock.
Ooh, Haunted Horror Nights. Do we think?
Oh yeah,
her Universal might do something with this. Ooh.
It'd be amazing.
Backrooms was A24, so it's similar. And both of these movies have like far and away become both of these distribution companies' highest grossing film, both Focus Features and A24. Like they rarely will put out something. I don't think A24 had a domestic grosser above $100 million, and Backrooms blew that away. And now Obsession is up to almost 300 million worldwide, basically. So yeah, it's
and they were competing with like Star Wars and some other,
which wasn't doing phenomenally from what I heard. Yeah,
I would love to do a whole episode on Star Wars, but I don't know if either.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't even seen Backrooms.
I haven't seen either yet, but yeah.
Mandalorian. Oh yeah. I that would be fun to talk about too. Backroom, but yeah, I mean, hey, when these things are out on streaming too, I mean, I'll check in and see if people get a chance to see things. But yeah, for now, this has been the Thodcast, conversations about animation, and we were definitely animated today, discussing Obsession. Appropriate title and very vague, and it's like, how many movies have there been called Obsession? But this one was worthy of it.
That's why I thought it was going to be like a love story or like a cheating scandal thing. That's why I was like, wait, it's a horror movie. Okay. All right.
But yeah, final thoughts from you guys before we just sign off?
I mean, I could just keep talking about all the little things I loved, but there's no final thoughts besides I was happy we got to talk about it tonight.
We've plated all the corn. Laura, anything else you want to share or social media?
I'll be thinking of my wish. I have to write something down and really ruminate on that. But yeah, this was really fun to talk about, and I'm excited to deep dive again on the making of it. I love just behind the scenes making of stuff. So now that I'm in this world, I just want to dive in more. Maybe I'll watch it again. I feel like I will. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much. This was super fun. And we'll be back again on the Thodcast, discussing things that are, I mean, as much as I'm not technically Gen Z, I feel like I relate to a lot of the trials and tribulations that are endemic to that generation, growing up on the internet and so forth. So it'll be fun to explore some of these things a little further down the road. But in the meantime, we'll leave you all to your day. And thanks so much for listening to the Thodcast. Thodcast.com, @Thodcast on some socials. And just stay tuned to the feed here. And hopefully we'll have something back for you soon. Thank you so much, Jody, joining us from great state of Georgia. And Laura, thank you again. This Thodcast, of course, we're here I'm up here in northern Minnesota, where it's usually frozen, but I try to warm up as much as I can when I can, and I'm happy that we're in summer. So everyone's a winner here. Let's see. I'll let you go, but I'll wrap the episode with hoping you all have a magical day. Have a wonderful week. Warm hugs.
Warm hugs.
Bye.
Laura, I was kind of thinking, though, there are so many girls, when I was watching the movie, there's so many girls who are like, if I could just work at Disney. Like every princess performer I know, like, if I could just work at Disney, like, that's my dream. And like, they go there and they're working there and they're still depressed and they're still anxious and they still have eating disorders and they still have problems with their boyfriend. And like, life is not, they think like it's going to be the magical thing that like, and it is magical and it's like this great like accomplishment, but I have seen it time and time again where they audition, if I could just get it, I could just get it. And then the few and far between that get it, like I'm telling you.
Yeah. I feel like I dodged a bullet with all these years of auditioning, honestly.
But like, there is something about like wanting something so badly and seeing some people get it and realizing like they're not any happier. They might be
so true.
Excited about the pictures, but like, and that's not everyone's story, but I would say like 8 out of 10 girls like that come out like sad, if not sadder.
Yeah.
We need to find the Sarahs in our life.
Yes.
Yeah.